Greetings guys, it's Jurgis. Hopefully you're doing well. I have been pretty busy outside working in the heat, but fortunately the last couple of weeks for the most part has been pretty pleasant with some rain. We're going to be hitting pretty much a hot spell coming up this coming week for the next 10 days, I think. Actually, maybe temperatures in the mid 105, 106, maybe 108 maybe. So still working outside, still trying to do more reading, more time in prayer, more time contemplating, but also I have some ideas of things that I wanted to do outside and how to get these things done. And one area I've been working on during the relatively coolness over the past week or so has been an area of my property in which I technically don't own it in terms of having control over it. It's an area that in our neck of the woods here, it's referred to as a hell strip. Now, a hell strip is that small piece of land between the sidewalk and the road in which, usually there's just grass growing. And as you can tell, being that close to the road in the wintertime, we do have snow and ice out here in the Midwest. And throughout the winter, these trucks come up and down and they dump this road salt to allow the accumulation of ice not to take place, to melt it. But oftentimes that salt makes its way into this so-called hell strip that causes grass and whatever plants might be there to struggle. And during that struggle, the weeds come up because the plants have been less than as vigorous. And so that's an area that we deal with. And so I've been trying to figure out ways of maybe altering that to allow plants, some certain types of plants to thrive, to make it look better. Because I see this strip every day as I walk to the mailbox, as people come to my home, as I leave my home. And although my garden, I create a space in which I can think, pray, contemplate, find peace, find joy, that hell strip, I got to maintain it, but there's not a whole lot I can do. And so for the most part, people do nothing with it because, why make the effort? Because of all the external factors, the heat of the summer, the lack of rain for the most part, the salt. And I think this area, this hell strip, I think in some ways can represent the life in which we actually live most of our time in. We'd like to be at church. We'd like to be in our garden, our spiritual place, a place that gives us joy, beauty, peace. But oftentimes we're out into the world in terms of working, in terms of getting food, getting things that we need to deal with our physical well-being. And throughout these exchanges, we have less control over it. We're not in our environment. We're out of our environment. And so I think oftentimes, especially driving, I'm originally from back east that are not well known for being patient drivers, but I can give you an example that when I'm going to try to do better, I want to do better, and then something happens on the road which causes me to remember a youthful time in my life where my patience is tried. And in these moments in which I'm not responding as well as I would like to. And I think we live there in these hell strips of our lives because this is an alien land for us. This isn't our home. We know where our ultimate home is, and our hearts yearn for that in this life. In John 4, as Jesus was talking to the Samaritan woman by the well, in which she's referring to physical water, and then Jesus refers to the spiritual water, the spiritual streams that will sustain us. Of course, he's referring to the Holy Spirit, that she wasn't getting it. And I think sometimes when we're leaving our areas of control, of comfort, of safety, and we go out there, we oftentimes need to remember this stream of living water that Jesus talked about. Now, from this miraculous stream, the Holy Spirit infilling us, there comes these other factors that the church fathers referred to in the Philokalia about, that it divides into prudence and temperance and justice and courage, these cardinal virtues which help us represent or display godly virtues. And the fathers wanted us to remember that once we have this living water, there are more things that can help build our godly virtue. And so we need to remember that these are the four virtues, and which other virtues, godly virtues, rest. And we need to grow, and we need to sustain these and recognize them and build them up. And so I encourage you, as you're out there, you're living in your own narrow strip of land between a place of control, a place of safety, a place of refuge from the world, and then on the verge of what the world has given us. We're in that strip, and we're being bombarded, and hopefully we're recognizing the cardinal virtues that'll help us to grow from the Holy Spirit, giving us the living waters. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying cool. Hopefully with all the fires I'm seeing raging around the world and the heat waves, you're able to be in your safe spot spiritually and physically, but also when you're not, realize there's an opportunity there as well. There's an opportunity to spiritually to respond to what has taken place around you and what you have no control about, the physical that's bombarding you, about the scorching heat or the rock salt that's being thrown on your life and what you're trying to grow. And I look forward to talking with you all on the next Orthodox Gardener.